Welcome to this evening of Transcendence, celebrating a historic book.
In Transcendence, Dr. Kalam describes his spiritual experience with Pramukh Swami Maharaj and his vision for the world.
24 children, Tanzanian children, less than 2 years, they were having congenital heart defects. And there was no way they could have survived beyond a year. And he says, Tulsidas, why don't you fly these 24 children from Salaam to Hyderabad? And then all these children came to Hyderabad. They were operated upon. They become healthy. And 30 doctors and nurses, they came to Hyderabad for specialized medical education. What a beautiful thing it has happened. And why it has happened? Because Pramukh Swamiji told Dr. Kalam that you are a great scientist. Show the human face of science to the world. God guidance is always available to you. Go and ask, what should I do? You will be told, you do this. So God is not sitting in some distant planet. God is sitting very much here. Narayan is in Nar. Guru is very much there in front of you, but you are hesitating. So this 2005 book came, Guiding Souls. God has created everybody same. It is the world which makes poor and which makes rich. Let us remove these boundaries, and that is the message of transcendence.
All of us have come here today, setting aside all our differences. And today, if there is any one focal point in Tanzania of friendship, it is this center today in this convention. I not only welcome you with all my heart, but I feel too insignificant and too small to talk about a friendship that transcends everything that we can think of. Dr. Kalam was so educated that he had almost 48 PhDs from world classified important and famous universities. And Pramukh Swami, on the other hand, was not educated at all. He could not even spell the word PhD. Dr. Kalam was the principal scientific advisor to the government of India, and then he became the president of India. Constitutionally, we sadhus have no place in India's constitution. We are the others. So technically, nothing was there. But at the same time, I also want to emphasize that Dr. Kalam could not speak even a word of Gujarati, that's Pramukh Swami's language. And Pramukh Swami could not speak even a word of English to people who did not know the language, who never saw eye to eye, who did not have the same background, and they also belonged to different religions and different communities. And still they became the best of friends. Can they be a better message for our global world in this present situation than to rise beyond the differences and become friends? It is needed. Don't just think in the world that if you get what you want, you are loved. Give somebody what they want and you will be loved. A smallest thing that you can take up will make a world of a difference. And Pramukh Swami taught Dr. Kalam that the highest thing that you can achieve in life is outer development. More than that is inner development. More than that is inner peace. But more than that you can give to the world is your priceless and selfless love. Thank you very much for being with us today, and it is with great love that I welcome you. Thank you very much.
Transcendence is published by the internationally acclaimed publishing house HarperCollins. It was released on 20th June 2015 in Saranpur when Dr. Kalam presented the first copy to Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Since then, the book has been translated into Hindi, Marathi, Malayalam, and Gujarati, with the English edition selling more than 300,000 copies worldwide. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived to unveil Transcendence.
अथ अक्षरं ब्रह्म समाम्नायते ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म तमेव प्रत्यक्षनारायणस्वरूपं वदन्ति ब्राह्मणाः
Dr. Kalam, his conversation with Pramukh Swami Maharaj on the fusion between science and spirituality and the role it could play in national development. He then poses the question to Swamiji, how do we create people with values to carry out such a big vision? I thought this was an appropriate question to ask also of a newly independent Tanzania aspiring for Vision 2025. They are therefore important to remind us that we can have diversity as humankind, but also have unity of humankind. That is the lesson that I will draw. Value lessons, I wish to suggest, cannot start at schools and colleges only. They must begin in the home, in the family, and the community. With the final remarks that Pramukh Swamiji made, one must remember that God's scheme of things, the whole purpose behind creation, is the idea that every person, every soul attains bliss. The stronger the spiritual wealth, the stronger will become the other forms of wealth. These are observations worth reminding. Thank you very much.
Puja Pramukh Swami is an inspiring spiritual leader of the modern times. Following the launch of this scholarly book, we will have a welcome opportunity to learn teachings about and independent of the material universe, which in some ways follows the 18th century German philosopher Immanuel Kant, transcending the Aristotelian category. And by thanking BAP's leadership for the chance given to us, which would assuredly inspire us to look beyond ourselves and to enhance our actions to serve humanity. Nobel Peace Laureate Albert Schweitzer said, and I quote, "The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others." Thank you very much.
We in India, I think, are very fortunate that the accumulated wisdom of the work done and the pursuits over many millennia in terms of the importance of the inner self of the human being, the importance of happiness, the connection between an individual and the Almighty. The BAPS is doing a great work in terms of spreading this message, in terms of making realization of these accumulated heritage and knowledge. I think it's important for us to carry back with us and try to translate them into our lives. That will be the real tribute to the book itself and to the message that we have all heard today. Thank you very much.
But if there's one lesson that I learned from this great mind, this is what has been quoted so many times, where he says, all of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. He lived this dream. But also in the Bible, the book of Psalm chapter 90 verse 10, where it's clearly spelled out that the times of our existence is 70 years, and if we are strong, 80. He truly was a stronger man. May his work live to inspire us, not only to look for the good in ourselves, but to share the best that God has given us in bettering the lives of others for as long as it's called today. Thank you very much.
And I'm sure next year, God willing, if I'm assigned again to teach family law, and when I'm teaching Hindu law of marriage, there will be a difference because of this book. I would like to recommend this book to other people to read it. It is an interesting book, readable and written in accessible language, informative, enriching, and uplifting. Is how Pramukh Swamiji transformed the life of Ramsang Bap of Wadarka, one of the most brutal members of the warring communities, transformed through moral education and made him to be a changed person. So we are not only talking of philosophy, but also we are talking, if I was using my faith, about pastoral care, pastoral theology, of how a sinner is transformed into an upright person and then becomes also a messenger of the good message of those who believe good message of God, where he talks about the most powerful force on this planet, which is human cooperation. And I would want you, once you have the book, to read page 224 with humility. This is a book I would recommend to you to read. It is a must read, enriching, inspiring, and I'm sure it will change you. Thank you very much.
I realized that as a counsel for BAPS Swaminarayan Santa Tanzania, whom I served for the past decade, I didn't know anything about the faith that they profess. I didn't know about their leader, and I didn't know even about the 11th president of the great nation of India. I was such an ignorant person. After reading, I knew that, and I realized that I missed a lot by not knowing Pramukh Swamiji Swaminarayan. We always think of God as a solution to our problem, but it was not for Dr. Kalam. He went to Pramukh Swamiji when he was at the peak of his success. This is a big change and it's a big challenge to all of us, that we do not turn to spirituality when we're in trouble. We have to do that when we are also in our peak of success, as what Dr. Kalam did. And I want to tell you, you must have this book. It's a must-have. As Dinesh and Varadas have said, this is another book which has been donated to us apart from the Quran, from the Holy Bible, and from the Gita. Removing the I and the me, removing the ego in us, which will change the world. And I thank you very much because this book will live in our hearts like it is the Bible, the Quran, and the Gita. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
I have a very simple job, is to thank. I should thank Lord Swaminarayan and Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj to bless us this day with wonderful people around us. And I would like to give you a small message that every soul is potentially divine. And today we are in the presence of divinity, and we should take this as the day of divinity and be with us. Thank you very much.